I don't see the point in masturbation. And I do it, but I don't come. You know, I kind of do it for the sort of a power sort of vibe. Ultimately, I want to find a girlfriend and a wife. A girlfriend to make into a wife. That was one of the best YouTube crash outs I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, he went. Was it Johnny Fragrance? He went on a crash out of epic proportions. Even to this moment, I think that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, Johnny Fragrance, his whole like story is an interesting rabbit hole to go down. Shout out to Johnny Fragrance. I don't masturbate because for pleasure. I do it to get a sort of power sort of vibe. Shout out to Johnny Fragrance, my dogs. Shout out to Johnny Fragrance. Mm. Delicioso. All right, we're gonna talk about the Saints because like this actually on this channel that actually got the most views, which is interesting. For those of y'all who don't know, I'm a Saints fan, born and raised. My dad tried to indoctrinate me into being a Cowboys fan, and I said no, no, no. So long story short, how that happened was when I was a kid, I was playing Pokemon Stadium or two. I can't remember which one it was, Pokemon Stadium or Pokemon Stadium 2. And he was like, "Hey, come watch some football with me." I'm like, "Sure, why not, Dad? Why not watch some football with the good old pops?" He said, "Choose a team." It was the Saints versus Dallas Cowboys. I think it probably been preseason or some shit. I think it was preseason. I don't think it was like a regular season game. He said, pick a team, Saints or the Cowboys. And I didn't know the difference between preseason or whatever. I picked the Saints because I'm like, it's a gold team. I'm gonna choose the gold team, right? That's, why not? And they're New Orleans, and I'm from Louisiana. Like, why am I not gonna choose the home team? Like, are we crazy? Um, well, he's like, well, I'm a Dallas fan. I was like, oh, okay. And so he chose the Cowboys, obviously. So we watched the game. Long story short, Saints lost brutally. Um, and remember crying. I was depressed, and that was the day I was like, yeah, I'll never be a Dallas Cowboys fan. Um, I became a Saints fan by blood and fire. So anyone say you're not a real fan, it's like, sir, I was baptized into this shit. Calm the fuck down. Um, but yeah, it's fun. Um, and over the years, I kept up with them, and they won the Super Bowl, and then I watched more football, got more interest to football, and started studying more about football. I still don't know the X's and O's of it all, but I know what I'm looking at when I'm watching people play on the field. Um, so the Saints. How do I feel about the Saints so far this season? I actually love what they've been doing. Um, I think they should get Cameron Jordan back. Bring him back. Cameron Jordan needs to retire. Saint, we don't need to have this conversation. Come on, man. Unfortunately, your age works against you. Even if you had a productive season last season, your age works against you. You're not gonna get. You're not a starter. You're not getting paid starter money. I get you had that. You had those amount of sacks, but they're not gonna look at it that way. And so, do you want to go play for another team where you got to learn a whole new system and do a whole new thing, move your family, do all that crazy stuff, and you're gonna get close to similar amount of money, or are you just gonna come back home? Like, come on, man. So hopefully they can bring Cameron Jordan back. The whole thing with Kamara is, I, Kamara should never leave the Saints. That's how my mind works. I am a fan of Kamara. till even he's no longer playing in football, because what he's been able to do outside of football is crazily, like, it's just crazy. It's awesome. It's beautiful. Um, Football seems to be something that's like he's like, this is a part of my life, but I'm setting up life after football. He's a very smart player and a very smart person. Smarter than me, dog. Cause shit, I wish I had thought made a lot better decisions when it comes to my career path. But when you're young and you think you know everything, you make terrible decisions. But anyways, you know he's setting up life after football, which I really appreciate. I love seeing people with a good mindset, because football's not forever. Like, I think the longest life in football, the average shelf life for an NFL player is like what, 4 or 5 years, maybe not even that much, 2 3 years, I think. I don't know, around the. I'm gonna give it like 4 5 6 years, because some don't. I mean, at least to the ones we know about, but most of them don't make it past the first contract. So we'll see. But yeah, he's got to come back. He's under contract, but like, you be hearing rumors from different sources. Which, by the way, people got angry with Honey Badger about the whole. There's certain people in the organization that aren't so they don't really care for certain players because of the whole thing with Dennis Allen. You have to understand, like, that organization doesn't work like oh, it's a strictly business thing. Listen, this wasn't personal. No, they take a lot of things personally, and the thing about it is that a lot of the players, it wasn't just the player that he stated that was involved with kind of letting Gail Benson know, like, hey, like, something's not right in the locker room right now, and something's not right with this team. And so it doesn't seem like the leadership's leading us in the right direction. So it wasn't just one person saying this; it was multiple people. And if you notice, like, the people that was very vocal about it: Marshawn Lattimore, Michael Thomas. I think even Cam Jordan almost like walked out at some point. He just didn't want to be part of the team no more. You're kind of starting to see a pattern here. Like, where are they now? Now, mind you, Marshawn Lattimore is not the same player he was when he was playing for New Orleans. The injuries eventually caught up, which is sad. Is that I don't like seeing that at all. In the Michael Thomas situation, similar. His injuries kind of did what he did, but there was a level of there wasn't a thank you, Michael Thomas, for your time in New Orleans. There wasn't any of that stuff. It was just kind of like just get the hell out. And you could see that it was because that. And for those of y'all who don't really understand why the Saints are like this, Dennis Allen was part of the squad that won them the Super Bowl in 2009, 2010. That whole squad, Sean Payton, Dennis Allen, Greg Williams, regardless, and the little Joe Vitt, all of them, that was all part of that whole thing. They hold these people in high regard because they brought New Orleans their first Super Bowl. And so when Dennis Allen came back, and he also helped revive Peyton's defense, Peyton's teams with the defense, because after they got rid of Greg Williams, we got Rob Ryan, and Rob Ryan, he had 1 year he had good defense, right? And then after that, it seemed like the defense just forgot how to play football. It was an interesting situation. I mean, well, at the same time, that same off season, Junior Gillette was filmed beating people with a belt outside of on a beach. So they lost their best pass rusher in that same season, and then they went into the season without their best pass rusher. A lot of their corners and other people had left, and they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna go into the season like this. And then they wondered why the defense couldn't stop anything. But yeah, so Dennis Allen comes back, he revives the defense, and then the Saints are legit in 2017, 18, and then the whole no call situation after that, everything just kind of fell apart. Which I'm going to talk about that too, because there's a lot of things we don't talk about with the whole no call situation. And yeah, the NFL, that should have been a pass interference. That should have been a pass interference. But my thing is that, like, we'll get to that. But anyways, Dennis Allen, he helped kind of revive the Saints' sort of like luster with his defense. And so when they hired him as the head coach, they had him on such a high regard. So the thing about being a coordinator, you could be a great offensive / defensive coordinator, but it doesn't make you a good head coach. There are certain people that aren't great head coaches, but they were great coordinators. And there's certain people that were great coordinators and they turned out to be great head coaches. So it's just like, it's not automatic. And Dennis Allen, unfortunately, is a great coordinator, as you can see with the Bears, with the Saints. But as a head coach with the Raiders and the Saints, he didn't do such a good job. And so a lot of it was just, I don't think people could understand that. And the thing that made Dennis Allen such an annoying coach is that he didn't want the team to go past mediocre. Like, it was a weird thing with him as a coach, where it's just like he didn't want the team to be. It's like when you play it. The best thing I can describe for those of you who play Yu-Gi-Oh, right? It's like you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand, right? And the guy that you're playing, for some reason, is just playing level 3, level 2, 4-star monsters. You got a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. The guy has 1,000 life points left. And all you have to do, and you have 2 monsters on the field that you can sacrifice to bring that Blue Eyes White Dragon and destroy a monster, win the duel, right? Dennis Allen isn't playing that Blue Eyes White Dragon. That's the type of coach he is. He's not playing that Blue Eyes White Dragon. He is going to continue to play monsters in defense mode and hope that the opponent hits the monsters and loses life points that way. That's the type of coach he is. And it mind boggles me. It's like, you don't have to win like that. You don't have to win with the defense. Just the defense. He wanted to keep the points in the game low and have the defense win it all. And I'm like, that's not going to work in today's NFL. Maybe in the early days of the NFL, where it's just like the players were like factory workers, you can play that defense. But when offensive players are legitimate like super athletes, you're not going to win football games that way. Of course, you're going to have a good defense, but you can't expect your defense to win you every game. That's insane. But that's how Dennis Allen worked. He wanted his defenses to be great. Meanwhile, he wanted the offense to just be enough. And I was like, okay. And like, there was even word around the whole situations that he would micromanage the offense. It's like, bro, what? You should be telling it, hey, you guys cook up something to where you can drive us down the field. That's your department. Let me manage the defense and kind of make sure everything else is kind of moving accordingly with the team. And then we got to understand it. We kind of coordinate, do stuff. But no, that's not how Dennis Allen wanted it his way or the highway. And I'm pretty sure he's responsible for just the Eagles. He's not completely. He's partially responsible for the Eagles' success. He gave them 2-star players, Zach Bond and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and we're just like, okay. Like, 2 players that would have been of great benefit to us in those seasons. If one, they didn't know how to use Zach Bond. Zach Bond was a linebacker, but he was a real good pass rusher. And so if you use him in pass rushing situations, you can get the best out of Zach Bond. Also, maybe if you were a better, defensive-minded person, you could probably understand his skill set and use it and help him use that skill set so he can maximize his production. But we're not going to do that because that requires us to think too hard. So he ships off Zach Bond to the Eagles, and Zach Bond is like a star for the Eagles. He ships off Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to the Eagles, and he does his thing for the Eagles. And it's just like, wow, man, like what? What? And so, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, just a coach that just did not really want this. It didn't seem like he wanted the Saints to excel. He wanted them to be a certain way. He was very milquetoast. He was very just stale. And so the players are like, yeah, we're not gonna beat anyone playing like this. And so, and then we had Derek Carr as a quarterback, and Derek Carr was just doing wacky shit. He's just doing wacky shit, and he wasn't. He was like hurt like half the time doing wacky shit. One of my favorite like screen like video shots of the DA era is when we had Andy Dalton as quarterback, and we're playing the Cardinals, and the Cardinals get like a turnover, and you see Andy Dalton visibly frustrated, and you just see a Cardinal player just leaping in the background. And I'm just like, yeah, that was pretty much that whole era in a nutshell. One of my favorite like little video clips. It's hilarious. But yeah, Dennis Allen was a great defensive coordinator. He's a horrible head coach, and it's just he would probably be a better head coach if he learned how to coordinate and work with others and let them kind of work their own magic instead of trying to micromanage something he doesn't know about. But that is either here nor there. Let's talk about the here and now. The here and now, we have Kellen Moore as the new head coach. Kellen Moore is a great head coach. So far, he's looking like a great head coach because he's making all the right moves. Hopefully, he keeps Kamara. And just let me pivot back to that real quickly. So, Honey Badger mentioned something about like the organization being sour on certain players, and I'm not surprised. Yeah, that's how they work. So I just wanted to cap that off before we go back to the next topic, because I was like, did I cap that off or did I just kind of jump to another topic? But yeah, I'm not surprised. Even if it's true, not surprised. And then likely he drops this information. Honey Badger dropped this information, and then literally maybe like a couple days later, a day later, a couple days later, Jeff Duncan drops this whole article about Kamara's production, and it's just like, well, way to prove him right. we know Jeff Duncan is like the mouthpiece of the organization, So way to prove them right. Thank you, Jeff Duncan. I knew we could count on you. But anyways, Kellen Moore, I have faith in him. I think he's going to do well. He's made all the right moves. He's gotten players. He understood that the problem with this team was offense, and he's done something that I wish Sean Payton would have done when he was here. And not just rely. He didn't think, oh, we have a number one receiver. Let's just solely rely on him. We have two good running backs, and we have one wide receiver, one legit wide receiver. We have a Taysom Hill, and maybe like a tight end that can do something, but not like. Maybe have another receiver and another receiver. No, we're going to go into a playoff game with Tommy Lee Lewis, because everybody was injured, with Tommy Lee Lewis. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't we have like I forgot the other receivers. We had Tommy Lee Lewis, Lil Jordan Humphreys. Michael Thomas, Tommy Lee Lewis, Lil Jordan Humphreys at a playoff game. Come on, man! You couldn't get receivers. No, we're gonna waste our draft picks on like Peyton Turner and Marcus Davenport, Rick Leonard. We drafted a player named Rick Leonard. I don't even know where this man is. We drafted a player named Rick Leonard, and I don't even know where this man is. I'm like, all right, man, cool. Like Peyton, you couldn't have equipped. Like, if Peyton would have gotten like two more legit receivers, that game, even with all the craziness, the game would have probably went a lot different than it did. But eh, no one listens to us. They're like, it's like going near the trade deadline. They're trying to trade for like AJ Green, and like the Bengals are like, we're not letting go of AJ Green. And just like, okay, well then, yeah, damn, I mean that's serious. Like, where are you? Joe Burrow, was Joe Burrow there at that point? I think he was. He might have been. I can't remember. I don't think so. Uh, no, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. It was 2017-18. No, he wasn't. I might be. Fuck it. Regardless, it's like y'all weren't going to the playoffs. Like shit, you could have got an extra draft pick with that stuff and loaded up and other stuff. But Bengals like, we're not letting go of our players. Like, all right, Bengals, thank you. I don't know if AJ Green would have benefited us in that regard, but the point I'm trying to make is, like, bro, like you couldn't have just equipped your star quarterback Drew Brees with a little bit more like talent on the receiver side. I don't know, man. No, but that's a different conversation here for another time, I guess. But yeah, as far as the Saints go this season, I think they should be well equipped. If health permits, they should be better on offense. Defense, we'll have to see how things fall in camp because I would bring Cameron Jordan back for one more year just to see, and like if he can handle this year and not want to retire. Because a lot of players think they can go into the year like, oh, we're gonna do this, and then they actually start ramping up for it, and they're like, you know what? Maybe retirement ain't a bad idea. So like, give it one more year. Maybe your body doesn't want to do it anymore, Cam. Like, give him one more year. Sign him back. See what happens and how camp falls for defense. And if Brandon Staley has his defense going decent and the offense is in sync, there's movement. The line looks better. You got a good offensive line on paper. Hopefully, it shows up on the field. You got a good set of receivers. You got number one, number two, number three, number four, and you have a good competition for either roles. So like we assume that like it's gonna be Jordan Tyson, Chris Olave, uh, who's the receiver they got from Broncos? Him, because I'm blanking. Or one of the like receivers we drafted this year. And it's just like, you don't know, man. Stuff could shift. It could be that the LSU receiver we drafted that we're like, it's gonna be a returner. He turned out to be like, like it's a legit battle for receivers in the camp, which I'm really excited about because that's more weapons for Tyler Shough. Which Tyler Shough got some. He got some. He's a good quarterback. It's his second year, so hopefully, he can maintain that success. But from what I saw last year, man, he has the accuracy. I don't want to say it too now and regret it, but from the sample size that I saw, he has that accuracy. But he's able to scramble in the pocket. If he can maintain good health and keep and improve and keep the accuracy, improve on it even more. Oh my God, this team might be dangerous. It might be fun to watch after such a long period of time because the Saints. I know if you're an old Saints fan, you like y'all weren't there during the dog days. Yeah, let's not go back to that. I kind of want to see the Saints have I want to see the Saints have some sort of. I want them to be very prestigious, a prestigious team. Like, I don't want them to be a team that's in the dumps and stuff like that. I don't want to see my team fail. I want my team to win a couple more Super Bowls. I want them to be considered like one of the great teams like the Steelers and the Cowboys and the 49ers. Like, I want that for my team. I don't want my team to be in the dog days like every time I watch them. Like, that's not fun to watch. So hopefully Kellen Moore, he can actually turn this team into something that's fun to watch on Sundays. And, hopefully, I think they can make the playoffs based on, on paper. But if it's just a wild card, that's good enough. If you can win the division, that's great. Now, if they go any further than that, then that's lanyap. You know, but or lanyap, lanyap, lanyap. It is what it is, man. You know, it's not a. I'm just happy I get to enjoy watching football again. I don't want to feel bad every Sunday. Be like, okay, what type of trash am I gonna watch today? Like, what Derek Carr gonna do now? And if you're a Derek Carr fan, you're getting offended me saying that.
Won't they do?
Sorry. Yeah. Hopefully they have a good year this year. It'd be fun to get some relevancy back, because man, these last couple years have been sad. But anyways, hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, like, share, subscribe, and hype up if you want. Who dat?
Broke ass niggas.